In a world where so many cozy games are competing for my time, why play Palia? This is the question that I want to answer today, and I don't just want to look at the fun activities that Palia has. It certainly has so many to offer of those, but I want to dig a little bit deeper. I want to look at why this game is a safe zone or a comfort zone for me. And let me explain to you what I mean through a few points. First of all, an aspect that is really important to our lives today is productivity. And in order to be as productive as possible, we often plan out our days to the smallest detail. But time management isn't an aspect that is only crucial in real life, it's also crucial in many cozy games. Take Stardew Valley and Coral Island, for example. If you're not back on your farm by a certain time, you basically get penalized for it and you have to start the next day with less energy. Most of the crops, forageables, and fish are season dependent and sometimes time dependent as well. And don't get me wrong, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Time management can be such a good feature in a game because it can make reaching milestones that much more satisfying. However, sometimes I just don't want to deal with that in a game. Sometimes I have enough just trying to manage my time and not very successfully in real life, and I just want to get away from that in video games. And this is where Palia comes in. In Palia, there are few instances in which time management is needed. In a similar vein to the games I've mentioned, there are certain fish, certain insects that can only be caught in a given interval, in a specific interval in a day. And also, you have certain activities that are only available at certain hours. But outside of that, I can just decide, hey, today I just want to explore, not even look at the clock at all. And that can be extremely refreshing, especially when I've had a rough day and I just want to wind down and I do not want to micromanage these aspects. I can just go wherever I feel like going and just catch whatever I'm seeing. And of course, you could say, well, but in Coral Island and Stardew Valley, you can also choose to not pay attention to the time. Yeah, you'll get penalized with the energy thing. You just eat a few dishes and problem solved. But there is something inherent about those games that make me want to do things as efficiently as possible. I don't feel comfortable forsaking the crops for that day or not gifting a villager that I want to raise my interaction with for that day. But in Palia, I do not feel the same pressure. And this is single handedly the feature that I appreciate the most in Palia, if I were to only choose one. Now, on to my next point. You may have heard that Palia doesn't have enough multiplayer features to call itself an MMO. Since its release, it did make a lot of progress in this regard. It added a few group activities such as groves, which are basically clusters of trees that you need multiple people to chop. It added some mini games such as the hot pot that again requires multiple players. Activities during the market, for example, we have Papa Chapa. Basically, you're shooting balloons with other people. And most recently, we got a trading system that allows players to exchange their plushies or potato pods with one another. So we've come a long way. Is it enough? No. Is there room for improvement? Of course there is. But I will say that there is just something that feels much more alive about this world because there are players just running around doing their own stuff. Occasionally, they even wave at each other. And it is these tiny interactions between players that can be really wholesome at times. And that's not to say that sometimes I don't want to play solo in Palia because I am a massive introvert. Sometimes I just need my alone time, and that means in the game as well. But even if I choose to play solo, I actually have the option to signal resources to other players by using what we call flare arrows. So it gives me that feeling that I'm helping someone. And other times I prefer playing in a party and finding resources with other players, which can be really, really fun. And this actually ties into my next point. We know that MMOs tend to harbor a lot of toxicity. I have to admit, when I started playing Palia, I did expect less toxicity just because it's a cozy game. It's meant to help us chill and to be lighthearted. And everything in the game matched my expectations. But in the beginning, I was very much focused on solo play, which means that, I don't know, some of the interactions just went over my head. Poof. But I quit the game for about a year, and when I came back, I actually started streaming it. And then I started looking at the game with fresh eyes, basically. I started noticing many interactions in which people help each other that I honestly haven't noticed before. And not only that, but I had people come into my stream and help me out with advice, being very nice about it, helping me find some of the rare insects that I needed. It's just very heartwarming to see how much Palians want to help each other. People are friendly to newbies and want to help them love the game as much as they do. Of course, I feel like I have to say that every game has its bad apples, but with very few exceptions, the Palian community is incredibly friendly, incredibly nice, and if you allow it, it will enrich your experience with the game. Okay, let's take the community out of the way and two more points to go. One of the things that impresses me the most about Palia is its sound design. It is just so pretty. On the one hand, you have the music, which is really tastefully done to like complement the experience of playing. It doesn't take me out of the game, it helps me immerse myself in the game. And then you have something that I like even more, which is the random tiny bits of sound that you encounter in the game, from the pier creaking when you are catching fish, to just really random cute sounds that the animals in Palia make, or the sounds that you hear when you enter certain stores. Oh my god, this sound is so cute. This sound is legit my favorite sound in the entire game. It all just gives a lot of personality to the game. Even when you are moving from one zone to another, the transitions tend to be flawless, in my opinion. They tend to feel very natural. So, to sum up, I think the sound design in this game is going to make you feel like you're part of the world. If you haven't really experienced Palia with the sound on, you might want to give it a try, see if it enriches your experience of playing the game in any way. And now the last point. I am someone who has significant executive dysfunction in their life. Simply put, that means that I can struggle with planning and organizing tasks and carrying them out. I can struggle with certain puzzles in some games. I can struggle with games that are very fast paced, and I cannot process all the stimuli in a fast enough manner to react. Palia puts the brakes on that. Palia is the game that for me says you can do anything and you will be productive in this game. You will get some gold. You will advance your goals somehow. Sure, sometimes I still want to play games that are challenging for me and I'll still enjoy it. But at other times, I just want to put the brakes on having to like give my all and perform at my best. And that's also why this game works so well for me when I'm tired or exhausted because it doesn't use up those resources that I would normally use for other games. And these are the reasons why Palia feels like I said, as a safe game, a comfort game for me that not only doesn't drain my battery, but tends to also recharge it. Sometimes Palia gives my brain enough stimulation, but also allows it to rest. And that is so valuable for me. And now I'm curious, if you play Palia, why do you play it? What is your favorite thing about Palia? And if you don't play it, I would encourage you to give it a try because after all, it is free to play. Thank you for watching this video. Like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, and consider dropping a subscribe because it really helps out the channel. If you're interested in Palia streams, I stream every Wednesday and Saturday here on YouTube. Thank you.